Welcome to the Business and Brews podcast, where our mission is to highlight local businesses and shed light on different industries. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Business and Brews show. My name, of course, is Ryan Smeltz, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Cyndi, who helps run a contractor company, plumbing, electrical, and remodeling. So Cyndi, really quick, just tell us who you are and what you do.
All right. So my name is Cyndi Aragon, and I'm the founder, owner, operator of NC Water Heaters, NC Home Electric, and NC Home Remodeling. We do plumbing, electrical, and interior home remodeling for homeowners in the Triangle. We also have several property managers and realtors that have been working with us. Some have been working with Dave, my husband, since, the 1990s, long before we even opened up our company.
Smokes. That's pretty fantastic. So it sounds like it's a little bit of a team effort there. So I'm always curious, Cyndi, basically how you guys got started. So take us back, kind of what your origin story looks like.
So my husband has been in the trade since forever, since the 90s. He is our license holder on the plumbing side. He's a master licensed plumber. He's always wanted his own business. I decided to get into it because I was actually taken advantage of by contractors in the area. And I was frustrated as a homeowner. This was before I met my husband, by the way. And I had a false insurance claim. So the insurance claim was approved by the insurance company, and come to find out, the work wasn't needed. $30,000 or more in repairs. And what was really needed was about a $1,600 repair. And that was it. So after that,
I'm crying on the inside right now. I told you before we started, we're buying a house, and it's like every time you press that button to pay money, it's just like, oh man. Oh
yes. Oh, especially now. I mean, that 30,000 could easily be 60,000 in today's dollars, just with how everything has increased. But it was also too that my youngest daughter. So I have 4 children, and my youngest daughter was about to be born, and I was still in a very high profile, high travel job. I was a vice president for a computer software company. I traveled a lot. And I was thinking, I would love to do something different too, where I'm not on the road all the time. And I'd love to raise that last child a little bit differently. So instead of raising the last one by cell phone, I decided that it was time. It was time for something different. So Dave and I went into it just feet first and just all in. And that first year, I actually helped him install water heaters, do plumbing. I was running up and down stairs all day long, running back and forth to the truck, grabbing him tools. Luckily, I didn't have to do that beyond the first year because that's hard work. It is hard work. And it took no time at all for us to really grow and expand beyond plumbing, add electrical, add the remodeling division, and brings us where we are today. We have about 22 employees right now. So, we're still small, but it's a great group of people that we've got. They're just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so I'm pretty familiar with the plumbing space and contractors overall. But you said you have 22 employees. So I'm curious. Just put it in perspective for other people in similar industries. How long did it take y'all to get to this point?
We've been hovering at this size for about the past 3 years. It's been really hard to grow. It's so hard to find trade-based people. That's number one. We've had the hardest time finding people. So it's been about that long. We had pretty significant growth, and our customer base really demanded that we provide additional services outside of plumbing. So they really liked working with us. One of our actually our main core value is that we will never sell anyone anything they don't want or need. So I also have no commission-based salespeople. We incentivize people differently to make sure that they make a good wage, but it will not involve commission-based sales because Dave and I feel that fosters dishonesty. And we won't have that.
I think it's really hard to tell during the interview process, especially if it's someone coming from a job where they've maybe never been commissioned, to tell how they're going to act or react in that situation. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
So Cyndi, you said y'all got started. So it sounds like you started roughly about 3 years ago.
In 2013, actually.
Okay. So really boomed about 3 years ago then. So going just trucking along with the company. My main question is, we all saw that kind of forceful pivot, I guess you could say, when COVID hit, and knowing and speaking to other business owners in industries where maybe they have to make home visits or come in contact with people. What did you guys see, and how did you kind of overcome that brand new thing that you had to handle?
It was really difficult. We didn't slow down, not 1 minute. So we were very, very fortunate beside other companies that were struggling so hard, especially the food industry. Oh my gosh, the food industry really, really got hit hard during this, that and retail. But plumbing, electrical needs, they don't stop. Surprisingly, the remodeling division didn't slow down either. That was very surprising to us. We had some delays. There were some municipalities that put a halt on inspections, so that did affect quite a few of our projects. But we pivoted like everyone else. Masks, gloves, all of the protective equipment, sanitizing. And we were actually very, very fortunate. We did not have any major cases of COVID. So it went very well for us. And in the meantime, too, we struggled to help our existing customers, that were affected negatively by it. We made a lot of concessions to do so.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it sounds like, you guys have a pretty solid following as it relates to your customer base, and you have a good team to handle those customers. So I guess I'm curious, because I know we talked about how basically your husband kind of had existing relationships there that really helped you guys hit the ground running. So would you say you do a lot more residential, like the people who own the home are the ones who call you, or is it more of the kind of property management agent relationships?
So our largest customer base would be your average homeowner. Our realtor and property on the property management side, we have over 2,500 properties that we work on, handle all of their plumbing and electrical needs. And then our realtors, we have about 60 realtors right now that use us on a regular basis. And some of those, like I said, have been using Dave since the 90s. So it's a really good feeling to know that they trust us, because we're very consistent in our services and we always stand behind what we do.
Yeah. So my next question, a follow-up question to that is, you're going in to people's homes. And that obviously for some homeowners is a very scary thought. It is not anything that's new, but you definitely hear of companies or training where maybe they don't do such a good job at that. So I'm curious what you guys have in place to help support the technicians you have going into people's homes. And then also, kind of the other side of that is how you set those expectations with the homeowners when they call.
Mm-hmm. So we use a really powerful software system, Service Titan. And it's a wonderful system. It allows us to, all the calls come into the system, they're booked through the system. We keep histories on every property that we work on. And there's also a notification system. So customers can receive text or emails notifying them of a confirmed appointment. And also when the technician is on their way, gives them a little truck they can click on and see where their technician is. So, and also gives them a picture of the technician that's coming on site. So and it does make a lot of people feel so much better that they know who to expect. They've seen the person ahead of time who's going to be showing up at their door. Internally, we have a pretty strong ongoing training program. No less than once per month. It's typically twice per month. We'll have an administrative type training, which might be customer service based or, COVID conversations. And then we also have a lot of technical training. So Dave, or our licensed electrician, he may also sit down with a lot of the technicians, plumbers and electricians, and, do the training of the month. What's the hot topic item that we've been seeing a lot for the past month, or something that we need to get stronger in. So we are constantly educating our staff, both on the administrative side, customer service side, and the technical side.
And I like what you said about with the homeowners in your software. Just basically, they get notified. I'm very familiar with Service Titan, so the little truck in the picture of the technician. Yeah. It's almost like if you think about the rideshare companies, you get a picture of the car, or what color and type it is, and then the person driving it. It's like, if that's not who shows up, then red flag. So it's really nice as a homeowner that you guys have that feature, that ability to keep them informed. So I know you talked about not having your technicians on a commission-based pay structure, and based off of your story of paying $30,000 for a $1,600 fix, that makes sense, because it's like, why send in a salesperson when they call a plumber? So I'm curious, when your technicians arrive at the home, what does their process kind of look like? Are they holding a conversation with the homeowner? Do they address some standard stuff? Like what would, if I were to call someone out and be like, hey, I need somebody to take a look at my stuff, like what should I expect from that person coming out of the truck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all the technicians, and each one is a little bit different. They specialize in in an area. Some specialize in water heaters, some specialized in service plumbing, some are the electrical side, so it just depends on their specialty first and who we select to send to your home. And then at that point, they will be able to talk through whatever problem it is and make the best recommendation. And, just like any other service-based company, except, they don't have to worry that, are they going to make enough on their paycheck? How much do they have to sell? Because like I said, we incentivize them operationally. So we spend a lot of time tearing apart our operations to find out, where can we do better? One example is idling in vehicles. We realized that we were spending $60,000 a year because people were idling in their vehicles, doing their estimates with the vans running, with the AC, just wasting fuel. So once we made that determination, we added that metric to our incentive program. And we said, hey, we're at a 22% average idling rate, vehicle idling rate. Let's get it down below 5%. And basically, we've saved the company $60,000 a year. So we did that. It only took us 4 months, if even. Actually, last week's report was 0% idling. Like, what? 0%?
Off at the stoplights.
Yeah. I do allow a certain number of minutes before it counts toward the percentage, but there was no unnecessary idling at all. So in that respect, then I can give that money back to the team. They earn it as an incentive then.
Yeah, I think something you just kind of shed some light on, which a lot of people don't realize, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's basically leadership and culture, because you wouldn't be able to do that. Like, let's say you had a commission structure. You wouldn't get those guys to stop idling their vans because they care a lot less about how the company performs and the culture and, the team as a whole, and a lot more about their own bottom line, especially if they're full commission. So I think that speaks volumes about what you guys have built, especially because I know you said 22 people, you're still a small business, but there's plenty of plumbing companies that are one guy. So you're still pretty big in comparison to quite a few others. And to be able to say that you've put that into place, I mean, once again, to me at least, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love numbers. I can get lost in metrics. I know I drive people nuts. We have a staff meeting once a month, and I can just see the faces like, oh gosh, what boring metrics does Cyndi have this week, this month? But it makes a lot of sense, and it's so difficult because, as a small business, you have to make a profit. You have to make a profit, but you've got this method that you have to be able to provide services ethically, and in order to do them ethically and still be profitable and still pay people, I mean, all of these things together. Once we found and determined that the incentive program was going to be the way for us to solve it, it was just mind blown, just so hyper focused on everything at that point. Like, we can do this, we can actually do this, break the mold of the standard service industry mold.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's really important, you being so heavily involved in the numbers and actually, enjoying it. Plenty of people don't enjoy it. I'm okay with it. I like to automate the process if I can, so I can just see what they are, but get the report, read it over, whatever. But there's a lot of business owners out there who don't know their numbers, and so at the end of the day, what is running this business costing me? How much money am I making? They can't answer those questions. So ultimately, I feel like they can't be responsible. So I know you had talked about coming on and basically doing the work with your husband for the first year. But I'm curious about what your role is now, and maybe if you can a little bit dive into the day-to-day and what that looks like.
Mm-hmm. So I still at this point wear a few too many hats. I'm working on that. And Dave and I both. I mean, we both wear multiple hats. My hats happen to be running the company, making those big decisions, being the visionary, understanding what we're going to do next as a company on the whole. But I also get involved in the remodel side a little bit. I do estimates. So I do estimate kitchen and bath remodels, attic remodels. I will help customers make their selections, get all their fixtures and finishes selected and everything ordered and sent to our warehouse. We have an 8,000 square foot warehouse in Raleigh. And then at that point, once everything comes in, I hand it over to the project managers. Then I'm hands off at that point. So I do get involved. I am at the office or, working on something every single day, along with everyone. So it's great because I also get to see the guys out in the field, not just in the office. And I enjoy that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hear you on wearing too many hats, but I feel like one of the advantages there is it sounds like you're very passionate about what you do. So I think that's important.
Yes, I have some of my adult children work with us as well. And excuse me, that's very important to me too. To think that they still have to work hard. But maybe they won't have to work as hard as I had to, to kind of to get where I am. So, and the added bonus of getting to see them every day. I'm really fortunate in that respect. So my oldest daughter and one of my twin sons works with us full time. And I love it.
You are every mom's dream, I think, to be able to work with their kids.
Yeah. I don't think the youngest one, I believe the youngest one has absolutely zero interest, but that's okay.
You win some, you lose some, or in this case, you win 3, you lose 1.
Right.
That's awesome. So, I guess I'm curious because we talked a little bit about how you got started. I'm really excited about, the culture and your leadership and kind of what you guys have done with the company up to now. But you did mention that you are kind of the visionary. So I'm curious where you guys see the company going in the future, like, 5 years from now, where is this going to be?
Of course, I have a 5-year plan. Actually, in about 5 to 6 years, Dave and I would like to step back a little bit from the company and still be involved, but not at the level that we are now. It's time to kind of hand it over to the younger ones and let them continue to grow the company. We have to make sure, and we will definitely make sure that our values continue on. That will never change. And we will still be involved. It's just that we want a little more time for fishing and grandkids and less time, working every single day. So, so that's kind of our plan. I do see significant growth in the plumbing and electrical divisions in particular. Those 2 divisions are my focus this year. I tend to look for different opportunities, working with other businesses to kind of expand and look at the different options that are available. So it's that's my 5-year and this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always great when you get to take a step back, but I think it's even better when you're moving into, something that you enjoy, like fishing and grandkids.
Yeah. Yes. They are growing up so fast. The grandkids are so.
So now I'm curious, Cyndi, I know we talked about, the plumbing division. So you have plumbing, electrical, and remodeling. Then you have a 5 to 6 year plan to kind of take that step back. Do you guys have any intent to add HVAC to the list?
So we've thought about that, and while I'm sure that we could be, I know that we could be successful at it. It's a lot of work, just launching the electrical and the remodeling divisions from the ground. They're both successful today, but it's a lot of work. And in the next 5 years, I think I want to strengthen our policies and procedures and just perfect everything so that in that 5 to 6 year time frame, it's a well-oiled machine. It doesn't rely on anybody's knowledge. Everything is documented and written down at that point.
Yeah, definitely. So that's fantastic. I'm a huge believer in focus. So I really like that idea. Now, Cyndi, I want to kind of move into what we call the 4 questions we've had brewing.
Okay.
The first one is, which, I'm one of 4, so my mom was busy. And so you do that and run a company and have about 10 other roles. So I know you're busy, but when you are not crunching numbers and running a business, what do you like to do for fun?
So Dave and I actually love, we have a pontoon boat, and we love to take that. We even take it out in the ocean, lakes, oceans, doesn't matter. We love to go fishing. One of our dogs, the lab, loves to be on the boat, in the water, near the water. So he's our buddy, comes with us all the time. So we do enjoy fishing a lot. And of course we enjoy our grandkids. And we have 2, the younger ones, teenagers at this point. So they keep us busy too, of course.
Awesome. So I just got to make this joke because I tell everyone I met a guy recently who's talking about how he's trying to buy a boat, and I'm sure, it's probably fancy or expensive or whatever. But I said, what's better than owning a boat? And he said, what? And I said, having a friend that does.
Right, exactly.
So whenever, which I have an idea where this might go, but I'm definitely always curious when you're not, having some fun or running your business. We sometimes say, what content are you consuming? But I also prefer to hear, what books are you reading?
So let's see. Let me look at it. So I don't have time to read anymore, but I do audiobooks.
Yeah.
Audiobooks all the time because I drive a lot, of course. So currently I'm listening to I Know How She Does It by Laura Vanderkam. This is all about managing your time. So I do a lot of self-help books, business books. Atomic Habits by James Clear is on my list. Let's see. One that I did, Traction. So Gino Wickman's Traction. Now, I've actually implemented the EOS process at our office. And it's very successful. It helps with accountability. It's a way for all of my lovely metrics to be stored in one place that I can look at as often as I want. So we are an EOS entrepreneurial operating system focused company. I do love that system. On the fun side, I did recently listen to Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey's book. I actually enjoyed it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that was
pretty good. And some music stuff. Like, I mean, I'm a Alanis Morissette fan, so I was listening to Alanis Morissette's book and also Sting's book too, Upon Reflection. So that's what's
Okay.
in my audiobooks list.
I haven't gotten to that one. I just laugh at the Alanis Morissette one because isn't she the one that sings the song about rain?
About rain.
Yeah, she sings a song. It's like the rain on your wedding day. Isn't that
Oh,
her?
yes, that's the one.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought so. And so I used to work in a restaurant, and if it was raining out, I would just put all my money in I guess you would call it jukebox, but the machine on the wall that played music and play a bunch of songs about rain. And that was one of them. And that's how I learned who Alanis Morissette is. I was like, I don't know this artist. They were like, you played it.
Yeah.
So the next question, Cyndi, and it could be beer, wine, or water, soda, whatever your favorite drink is. I am a coffee lover myself, and there is no wrong answer. So if you could have a beer with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I think that I would actually have a beer with Gino Wickman, the author of Traction. I love the EOS system so much that I would love to just sit down and have a beer with him, and just really I guess, ask him even more questions. I don't know how there could possibly be any more questions, because I did work with the EOS implementer, and I tend to ask a lot of questions when I'm implementing something. So, but I think I could find more questions. That's for sure.
That's good. I like it. I'm going to look that book up, when I'm done. I'm currently locked out of Audible, so I'm,
oh no,
I don't know, password reset stuff there. But so I just do hard copies. So right now, I'm reading How Successful People Think by John Maxwell, and I got a workbook to go with it. I used to sell used books, so if I found one I liked, instead of selling it, I would keep it, and that was one of them. But if I could have a beer with anyone, which I have actually sent an email to ask, but that was probably 6 months ago, and I'm not counting on a reply. It would be Joe Rogan.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think the email I sent was requesting him to come on my show. I'm a firm believer that you won't know unless you ask, but I did not have extremely high hopes for that. But if he replied, I would ask what kind of beer he likes. So the last question, Cyndi, and the most important question you'll get asked on this show, whether someone, maybe there's somebody out there working in plumbing and they're tired of it and they want to start their own plumbing company, or maybe somebody looking for employment, or they need some help with their house to have the stuff fixed or get a remodel done. Where online can people find you?
Mm-hmm. So you can find us at ncwaterheaters.com. That's our main website. You'll see logos to our other two websites from that website. So you'll be able to access all of our different divisions from that one website. Our phone number is 919-868-3585. And we answer that phone 24/7.
Cool. Well, that's
so we
fantastic.
do have emergency services. And, I will say too, I really enjoy talking to new business owners or those that are thinking about going into business for themselves. There's phases, there's the phase when you're the owner operator and you're doing the work and you're booking the calls and you're answering the phones and you're doing everything yourself. Then you start to phase out and get a little bit bigger and maybe have an office person. Then you start phasing out a little bit bigger. I'm so interested in those different phases, and I love to talk with new business owners and kind of help just kind of bounce around ideas and troubleshoot, and also offer support because it can be a lot. It can be a lot on a person that's trying to start like their own plumbing company without the right support and help to do so. I'm also involved in Athena. So Athena of the Triangle focuses on women-owned businesses, helping them grow and really focus on profitable growth, bettering themselves, bettering their companies. I was a candidate and I went through their program, and now it's my turn to give back. So I'm really looking forward, and I will fit it into my schedule somehow. It will happen. But I definitely want to be able to give back to now the next female business owner that needs help and needs that push and needs that, those recommendations and help just to help herself and her business really grow and thrive. Another thing that we do is we often bring in helpers, and our helpers can focus on any division that they want within the company. We might float them around. After a couple of months, perhaps they decide, hey, I really love the electrical division, or I really love the plumbing division. So we try to help younger people to get involved in the trades. We also work with Wake Tech with their program, their plumbing program, and bring on their students every now and then as well. So those types of things are very important to us, giving back to other business owners, helping people find a career and grow. Of course, we love the highly skilled plumbers, electricians, carpenters. We love all of them that decide to come and join us too. These past few weeks, I've focused a lot on recruiting. So every day I have at least one interview a day, and in all of the different divisions, because we're really pushing hard to make sure that we're prepared for this summer.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Cyndi, I really appreciate you coming on. You can hang out after I hit stop, of course, for a minute, but thank you for your time and for holding this conversation with me.
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Please check out the show notes, the description, wherever you're watching or listening. Make sure to leave a 5-star review. It really helps get the podcast to the top of the charts so people can hear stories like Cyndi's and all the other fantastic business owners we have had on. And of course, coming up next week is Owila, who does the in-home IV healthcare. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. But thank you again. Make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Most importantly, tell your friends to subscribe as well. My name is Ryan Smeltz. And lastly, Cyndi, just thank you again so much. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I will see you all on the next episode.
This has been the Business and Brews Show, hosted by yours truly, Ryan Smeltz. Edited and produced by Ryan